Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, I rise to speak out on an important issue impacting this nation and my community in Ohio. As you may know, September is Suicide Prevention Month, a time to pause and recognize mental health and the tragedy of taking one's own life. And today I rise with both a heavy heart, yet a hopeful spirit, because while my community has felt the devastating toll of suicide, I also believe in the power of advocacy and awareness in order to save lives. Suicide Prevention Month is an opportunity for us to reflect, and an opportunity for us to discuss stigmas around mental health and affirm once again that mental health care is health care. Today I want to address specifically the sacrifices of our police officers, firefighters, paramedics, and other first responders. These are the women and men running towards danger while others flee for safety. But at the end of the day, after news stories published details of their heroism, the weight of the trauma may linger long after sirens fade. In 2021, the CDC acknowledged that law enforcement officers and firefighters are more likely to die by suicide than in the line of duty. And Jared Kneale is one such story from Northeast Ohio. Born on October 5th, 1981 in Euclid, Ohio, Jared graduated from Wadsworth High School in the year 2000. After working for the city of Wadsworth as a fireman and paramedic for 15 years, Jared transferred to the nearby city of Canton, Ohio, in Ohio's 13th Congressional District, where he would serve his community for 8 years. But on Friday, May 17th, 2024, Northeast Ohio, in Ohio's 13th District, lost a dutiful public servant and a loving husband, father, grandfather, and friend. The Canton Fire Department would later announce in a post on social media that Kneale's death was the result of his suicide due to a post-traumatic stress-related illness, and that in his final moments, Jared signaled to us his wishes to use his death to help bring awareness to firefighter mental health. And that is why I stand today before you, Mr. Speaker, to do exactly that and carry out Jared's last wishes. Mr. Speaker, for far too many, they are suffering in silence, afraid of judgment or showing signs of weakness. But it is time we stand up for those who run towards danger, that we acknowledge our collective strength far surpasses the individual, and that asking for help is truly the greatest form of strength. Rarely have I seen a better example of this than the immediate aftermath of Jared's passing. Upon hearing the tragedy, over 70 firefighters descended upon the local hospital to pay their respects. As my community continues to grieve, cases like Jared's cannot be ignored, because when we invest in mental health, we invest in all of our communities. But I want to take a moment to talk a little bit about Jared and his life and the person that he was. Jared, who worked with the 2nd Battalion and was assigned to Ladder Truck 1, was loved by his colleagues. During his tenure with the city of Canton, he earned 2 medals of commendation and 2 meritorious citations for heroic actions on the job. He was the head chief at Station 1 and took great pride in sharing meals with his colleagues. Jared was known for his infectious laughter, and he was the ringleader of the pranks at the station. He also had a love for peanut butter M&Ms and sweet tart chewies, always making sure his candy was stocked, knowing full well the rest of his crew would sneak handfuls out of his locker. Jared was a devoted husband to his wife, Carrie, and a loving father to his 6 children, Tim, Shauna, Caden, Aiden, Olivia, and Isabella. He was a fan of the Cleveland Browns, loved riding his Harley, and was a talented carpenter and mechanic. Behind every uniform is a person, just like Jared, who feels, grieves, and may struggle to cope with the toll of the demands of their work. According to the National Fallen Firefighters Association, 20% of firefighters and paramedics meet the criteria for post-traumatic stress at some point during their careers. Additionally, the suicide rate for firefighters is much higher for them than the general public. The connection between PTSD and traumatic rescue work is quite clear. And so as we, as a legislative body, come together this September, we must do more to ensure that first responders never have to carry this burden alone. And we also, as human beings, must do more to be there for one another. In the wake of Jared's passing, the Canton Fire Department said, "We urge our fellow brothers and sisters to reach out to one another. We must remember that we have more in common than we do that separates us. We must do more to reach out and care for our neighbors who are struggling. And before I take my seat, Mr. Speaker, I just want to make sure that everyone knows that if you are struggling, if you know someone is struggling, you can call or text 988 for personalized support during these difficult times, and you are not alone. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I want to say thank you to Jared's family. Thank you for allowing me to share his story and uplift a firefighter and someone who was so very important to our community but lost their life tragically. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield back.